Simon, a fantastic victory over the York City Knights on Premier Sports on Monday night to extend our winning run to 4 games in a row. You must be delighted with the way that the team's going at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it was our best game or most free-flowing in possession, just because simply we didn't have it for long periods. York kicked well, then 6 agains and whatnot on your own try line and stuff. Took a bit out of us, so I think we ended up sort of going backwards a bit and doing sort of one-out stuff just to clear our lines at times. But we did look dangerous when we moved the ball. Yeah, it was a good win. York obviously been travelling well. I know they had a hiccup against Barrow, but we prepared the best we could for the best York we could play against. And as I said it straight after the game at Everlast there, we I thought we really bought into the plan and everyone just cracked on with it really, and sort of enjoyed the adversity as well, which was really nice to see. Even Bob's tackle on Ronan Michael, I thought that was just a bit of a statement as well. So what if you've got ball, we're still going to try and come and have a go anyway, which are really good. But yeah, generally the attitude really pleasing and 2 valuable points. And as always, we'll move on now to Workington.
And that moved you up to 3rd in the table. It must be a real psychological advantage over the other clubs vying for those playoff positions that we can go through adversity in recent weeks, and every time it's billed as a playoff battle, we seem to come through the other side as victors.
Possibly, but I think it's that tight, Faz. You're 1 loss away from it spinning round and you being at the bottom of that pile and people overtaking you. So we won't be getting ahead of ourselves. We've got a tough game against a physical Workington, backed up with another tough game on the road down to London, who are finding some form before we go into Bash. So yeah, we need to be on it. We've obviously got some pretty bad news, poor news to be honest, today from the match review panel, which will hinder us down the line next few weeks. But to what degree is up to us. We can sulk about it and moan and say it's someone else's fault, or we can just crack on and keep our standards high. I suppose that's all we can do.
Have you got any arguments about those sightings then?
Look, at the time the referee's very close. He's got a tough job. I think for 3 of those citations there was no penalty given. So whether it's done in review and they've had a look at it, I think there's a bit of play acting. I think people make the most of it now. I'm not just referring to these incidents, but I mean, you look at the game, there's people laying around on the floor, they're diving on the ground when they get a little bit of contact, which attracts some attention. One of them I do disagree with, whether we're having a look when we have a conversation about it, would be the tip tackle. Yes, granted, he does land in an awkward position. However, he's a big man who can probably find the ground on his own terms more often than not, and I think in that one, it is on his own terms, but I think he makes it look like it's not. I think there's definitely a forward roll and a spin in there, which we've seen many a time, which is unfortunate, but people will continue to do it if we don't clamp down on the play acting and all that sort of behaviour. So it is what it is. We'll have a conversation about it. Am I going to hold my breath and expect it to go away? No, but I think there's definitely something to defend there, I think. So the speed of his movement, I don't think is natural.
We'll come back to some positive aspects of our game. We mentioned in recent weeks maybe a lacklustre attitude to goal line defence. This Monday we saw, perhaps I think it was 9 sets in a row right on our line, managed to repel them, sort of topped off with a fantastic tackle in the corner from Lachlan Walmsley. Are you happy with the way that the team seem to step up and improve that area of our game?
Yeah, I think lacklustre is probably not the right word. I'd probably just say concentration lapses. Soft tries, we haven't been done with the U-beauty plays. We've been done with some really simple ones that you just need to concentrate and you don't miss, which fortunately at the weekend, where they played a lot of 1 out, change of direction, just trying to get them big men crashing over the line, I thought his concentration were brilliant, and our urgency to get into the right position to start that tackle was good. And yeah, one back come up with a good tackle. He's probably in a touch out of position, but freakish pace and desire, if you like, got him in that tackle. But I'll give Cav a rap as well, because I think if one back don't make it, Cav probably throws him in touch anyway, just through his efforts from his wraparound. So always loads to improve on, Faz. I look through it with a fine tooth comb. I'm not necessarily watching the finer moments that everyone else remembers. I'm watching stuff that we work on and what we can definitely improve on week to week.
You mentioned obviously Jacob Fairbank going off for a HIA, which you managed to pass. Any other injuries to come out of that game?
Yeah, well, Cav's HIA failed. Obviously, didn't return to field, so he'll miss this week, and then his ban will start next week. Other injuries. It was a physical game, so there's a lot of sore bodies. There's a lot of names on the physio list anyway, so it's one of them where short turnaround. Not had a chance to have eyes on anyone properly yet, so it'll be see what people can get through tonight, and we'll see where we are tomorrow. We'll confirm team tomorrow, I think.
So with these bans and these injuries, is there any inclination that we'll see anybody recover from the loans spells that they've been out on?
Yeah, well, Garth will be back with us. That was a decision made prior to Cav in his HIA there. We'll probably get a couple of dual reg this week, hopefully all being well. What else have we got up our sleeve? Obviously there's the loan scenario as well. It's a really funny market because everyone's sort of scrambling to try and protect themselves, because there's probably more bans this season than there ever has been. So even if you think you've got enough numbers, you probably haven't got enough numbers. So it'll be dependent on what's out there and what we can get in, but definitely having a look around to see if there's anyone available who can come and add some value and prop us up a little bit for, you know, it's going to be, I think Matty, 2 late shots in 1 game, he's going to be a few weeks, I'd imagine, and depending how the conversation goes with Kev, that could be a few weeks as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but we're definitely looking to try and bolster our ranks, but it's a very tough ask.
And moving on to this weekend then, Workington Town coming to the shame, bottom of the table, struggling this season. I think they might have only picked up 1 win so far. These bans aren't going to kick in till the following week, as you mentioned, at London. Is this a chance to change the team around maybe and give the lads a chance to build some form?
Look, there'll be a couple of changes. Cav is a forced one, obviously, but then yeah, possibly the chance to rest 1 or 2 that have been playing, you know, every game and decent minutes in them all as well. But look, I'm not dismissing them. Yeah, they're bottom at league. Oldham were bottom at league last year, and we come up with a shocking performance because we thought we were just going to turn out and beat them. It's going to be a red hot day, and we're going to prepare to play hot weather rugby, which is lots of ball movement, but definitely completing high and try to look after your lungs a bit. And we do need to tidy up our discipline. I mean, wrong or right, we're putting ourselves in a position where we're getting players banned because we're doing, some of them are just a bit of sloppiness creeping in. It's where the game's at, but it's definitely in our control as well. So that will have to be good. Spuggy's a good coach. He's got, you know, they are limited in the tools. They've got a lot of difficulties there. They can't recruit till last minute because they come up in a playoff. Then Workington's hardly inaccessible places, so you're trying to get people up to go up and live there as well. So they've got a lot of barriers in the way there, but I think they've got some tough players. Typically Cumbrian, I suppose, in the approach that they come and play the game in the right sort of spirit. They play the game hard, so we can expect that. But for us, again, much like I said last week, and I'm sorry if I'm really boring and I repeat myself, but we just need to look after our stuff, make sure our effort areas are right, and our standards remain where they need to be, because it doesn't really matter who's in front of you.
Interesting stat, Workington haven't won in Halifax since January of 1983. On what's set to be the hottest day of the year, you don't want to be adding to their record books at all, do you?
Well, we want to add to that, don't we? We don't want to change the record and let them have a win. But again, you know, you can look at that all that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For all money, were Oldham going to beat us last year when you put the squads down next to each other on paper? Absolutely not. But they had a great attitude on the day. A few things went their way and we worked great. We just need to look after our side of it and treat these with the same respect we did York.
And there's been a special offer announced by the club. All season ticket holders can bring as many friends as they like for £10 tickets. With an initiative like that, and after a really good showing against York on TV, you must be excited at the prospect of a packed out Shea Stadium. Yeah,
that'd be great. Look, it's no mystery. Rugby league, not just Halifax, across the sport. I watched Warrington on TV and they were in dire form, to be quite honest, but the crowd was low. There's a number of reasons, and some of them are obvious ones. And obviously putting on offers like that to try and get more people through the door. If it helps a die-hard Halifax fan who's struggling a bit, I think it's 100% worth it. Or if it just brings a new fan to share, I think it's worth it as well. But yeah, it'll be a hot day. You know, there'll be drinks aplenty. It'll be a nice day to sit out in the sun, if nothing else.
And just finally then, the atmosphere at the Shea was absolutely rocking from minute 1 to minute 80. You must be looking for the fans to generate more of the same this Sunday against Workington?
Yeah, definitely. And it was definitely in pretty good taste. Bit of banter there around Paulie and some other little bits and bobs which were quite amusing watching the game back. But yeah, it just adds so much to the match day experience, if you like. I'm using club terms here, but yeah, coming in and hearing songs and the drum going and all the rest of it, it's just really nice to see, isn't it, in comparison to, you know, you go to Whitehaven away and we had probably 50 fans there who were great, and we absolutely appreciated them coming up there. But there's not like playing at home in front of a good loud crowd who are singing all the way through. And I did mention it after the game on try line, when you've got that noise behind you, when you're thinking maybe I might just have a minute here, you know, that might have spurred the lads on a little bit. So for me, it adds a little bit of a difference to us, and we could only thank the fans for that to date, but hopefully it can continue.